Welcome back to AM Northwest. Our first guest is here to show us how to get people to tell us more or even confess. This is like a dream come true for parents. We're happy to welcome back the author of Human Lie Detection and Body Language 101, Vanessa Van Edwards. Good to see you again.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And I mean that.
Yes. I'll get you to confess if you don't.
All right, now, speaking of confession, last night Diane Sawyer had a one-on-one with Amanda Knox, and I think we're all familiar with that story. And the question is, did she do it? Now, you're the person who might know the answer. Let's look at some clips from Amanda's interview with Diane Sawyer, and you tell us if you think she's being honest here.
Did you kill Meredith Kircher?
No.
Were you there that night?
No.
Do you know anything you have not told police that you have not said in this book? Do you know anything?
No. I don't.
All right, what do you take away from that?
So I never like to say someone's lying. I always like to baseline them first, which is the first step. But some huge red flags go up in this video. First, she said, right before she said no to the second question, she went, no. Right, when you go like this, usually it's a nonverbal cue of yes or no. So it's very odd that she was saying no, but she went, no. That's very odd. She also raised her eyebrows like this. Which is usually an indicator of surprise. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think she was surprised at that question. Right. And when her instinct was to say yes.
Did you
That's
kill?
a big red flags. Here you go.
Were you
Here
there
comes.
that night?
No. There you go. There's that nod, yes. Which is very odd. And then she swallows before answering the next question, which is a sign of intense nervousness. So if you look at that video closely, she swallows right before that last of, is there anything else you should tell the police? She swallows, which is intense nervousness. So I think there might be something that she's hiding there.
Could any of that be as a result of being interviewed by Diane Sawyer and the cameras on you?
Yes, and that's the importance of baselining, which if you're going to do lie detection, if you're going to really do it, you have to know the first step, which is looking at someone when they're not nervous.
Right.
Right, so I don't know if they're nerves or lies, but they're definitely red flags, that nod, yes.
And could that nod, though, be because I've seen it when we talk to people. We ask them a question, and when they comprehend the question, they often nod and then begin the answer.
Right, which was weird about it. That would have made sense if she nodded and said no, but she actually said no and then nodded.
Oh, you're good.
It's a little odd. So again, red flags to dig a little bit deeper. If I was Diane Sawyer, I would have hounded that question a little bit harder. But I understand that live television, you never know.
Well, the other one too, very quickly on is there anything that you're not telling the police? That's kind of a tough one because I don't know if there's I think I've told them everything.
Right. That big swallow that she did, I think that there's some intense nerves there. I think she might also been really coached on that question where they say, you know what, it's going to be easier for you to just say no than it is to explain it. So it might have been that
shouldn't there be more indignation? No, I did not. I mean,
she was very stiff during the few parts of the interview that I watched. I'm going to do a full debrief of it later today, but she was very, very stiff, and I think that she was coached and she had rehearsed answers. That's why a lot of her answers, she didn't stutter, she didn't sort of add emphasis. I think she had memorized a lot of them.
All right,
that makes sense.
Now let's get on to dragging confessions out of people.
Yeah. How would you can use this talent if you're a parent and you think your teen might be lying?
Right. So you can use this as a parent, with your real estate agent, with your lawyer, with your friends, spouses, everything.
Your husband,
coworkers.
Yeah, anything you want to dig a little deeper. Right.
One of the first tips you have is you say, don't fill in the void or the silence.
Yeah, so this is really important for women, right? Because we like to sort of fill in the gap. If you're a mom and you're talking to your teenager and they finish their sentence, wait 2 beats in your head. 1, 2. That extra silence, if someone's holding something back, that makes them incredibly nervous, and they'll usually fill it and start to spill.
Give me an example.
So, I heard that there was a cheating incident at school. Are you involved in that? Do you know any of your friends who did it? Oh, no, Mom, I didn't see anything. Well, I didn't really see anything. It's that happens. If you're hiding something, it makes you want to fill it. If you're telling the truth, you don't usually want to fill it.
That's a good
point. I love to invade their personal space.
Okay.
Get right
so
in their grill.
If you want to play cop, this is the way to do it. You'll always notice in cop shows, they'll scoot their chair closer.
Yeah, really close.
Right, and so this is because it actually invades someone's space, so they reset and they go, uh-oh, they're on to me. If someone's lying, they often feel like you're on to them. So you can either step towards someone. This is great for like a real estate agent. You say, so let me get this right. Right, you actually are invading their space, and they'll go, okay, they're on to me. I should probably tell them about that leaky air conditioner in the back, right? So you can lean forward or step forward.
And cops do both the wait for silence and the lean into questioning. That's really interesting.
Absolutely.
Nod your head.
Okay, so nodding is, as I said earlier, the universal sign of agreement. when people nod, they speak 3 to 4 times more. So if you're talking to your spouse, for example, and you want to know about sort of this new person at work, tell me a little bit more about them, and they finish talking, you can say 1, 2, 3. It's a 3 succession quick nod.
Okay.
People will speak 3 to 4 times more when they see you nodding.
Oh, because they think you're really listening and agreeing with them.
Right, it's engagement, right? So that's a really great way, especially if you have a reticent teenager who holds back a lot. If you want to get them to speak more, 1, 2, 3. It shows I'm listening, I'm engaged, and I expect you to keep talking. It's a way of expecting.
Now, what would be the opposite of that? That you don't believe them, or you're doubtful of their story?
The nod no or the lean back. The lean back is the disengagement. I'm not buying it.
Right.
So if you want to show,
lean in, and
right. But if you're like, I'm done with this. Like if you want to show a real estate agent, you're just not taking that price.
Yeah.
Right. That's a
good
nonverbal
one.
way to say, can you give me a better offer? Right.
Right.
Yeah, very good. All right.
Change the telling. Describe this. This
So
is
this would have
fascinating.
been really good for Amanda Knox, and I'm sure her interviewers did this with her. If someone has a story that they're trying to convince you on, they've usually memorized that story. So you can ask them to tell it differently, ask them to tell it backwards, ask them to start in the middle, ask them to tell it from a different person's point of view. For people who are lying, it's very hard for them to do that because they haven't rehearsed that. If you're telling the truth, of course you can tell it backwards because you actually did it. So if you're trying to get someone to tell you about a party last night or a meeting,
So if your kid comes home and says, so where did you guys end up last night?
perfect.
Where were you before that?
And they've rehearsed it, so they go, well, we went to the diner, and then we drove with Sarah, and then I went to Billy's house.
Yeah, but if you say, where
And you say-
did you end up?
Right.
And then where were you before that? And
Right.
then what'd you do? Where'd you? And
You make them start in different places. You say, oh, so before Billy's, what'd you do? I went to Sarah's, right? An honest person would be like, oh, yeah, I went to Sarah's, right? So it's you can see those gaps in that they haven't memorized it the other way.
how can anybody in your family trust you?
Well, it's good. We have a very honest relationship.
This is so good.
And tell a worse version.
Okay,
This is
so
great.
So
Yeah.
a lot of times liars, they don't want to admit to the wrong thing. So if you suspect someone of doing something wrong, you can actually say, like for example, let's say you worry that your child stole something from your wallet. You can say, I think, you got to tell me the truth. Did you take any money in a credit card from my wallet? Well, if you don't have a credit card missing, they of course didn't take the credit card. They're more likely to correct you on the worst part because they don't want you to think they took a credit card, and then they admit.
Oh, no, I didn't take a credit card.
Right.
I took your money.
Well, I didn't take a credit card.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, but what about the money?
Right.
So telling a worse version, liars, they want to protect what they didn't do. So that's a really easy way to catch
And then
someone.
you say minimize the significance.
Another classic cop move is to say, you know what, I would totally understand if you needed that extra money. Prom is coming up, it's 5% more. I would totally get it. It would be no big deal if you took it. Just tell me. So minimizing sort of and empathizing with them can make them feel like, oh, I can tell them because it's not a big deal. So that's the last resort if you are like,
And
I
then,
want
of course,
them to
then
tell
you
me.
want to circle around and then, ground them for the rest of their natural born life after you told them it's no big deal.
Right. Well,
Vanessa,
These are just
fascinating as
awesome
always.
tips. I'm telling you, all right, and the book again is
Human lie detection and body language 101.
Yeah. Oh man, it's good. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.